I believe that the Electoral College should be continued to be used in presidential elections. And I think the Electoral College, it balances voting power by forcing presidential candidates to campaign in very populated states. It also requires presidential election to appeal to a broad spectrum of large populations in order to help push their political agenda and standpoint and appeal not just to a small area population, but to a heavily enlarged area population of a country. I also think by using popular vote and not using electoral college, it would lead to mob rule, or what some people would call it pure democracy. So the evidence to support this, the electoral college is beneficial because candidates, they have to travel and campaign in more than just a few populated regions. They have to campaign in a lot of different regions. Like Ron DeSantis in Florida, he could ignore smaller areas and just campaign in the large majorities, which is possible for him. A candidate who does well in populated states, like big populated states like New York, California, or Texas, could potentially never campaign in smaller states just because of the population. Electoral college could place a candidate like DeSantis, and like DeSantis, and also has to be successful in a number of less populated, smaller countries and regions in order to win that election. Because a candidate is forced to campaign in different parts of the country, the candidate must express views that appeal to certain people living in different parts of that country. A candidate who is friendly to business and financial interests in city areas, which are also populated, would also have to gain the votes of agricultural and union interests in those rural areas. Ronald Reagan, who is also popular in California because he lived there, was also popular with the working class Democrats because his optimistic message on economic problems, which pertain to them. The electoral college protects us from mob rule. While many like to say that we live in a democracy, we do not. At least not a direct democracy. In a direct democracy, a simple majority of more than 50% dictates its will to the minority of less than 50%. The framers of the Constitution recognized this problem and created the Electoral College to address it. And by doing this, they were able to make sure that power was shared in between the minority and the majority, so it kind of separated that power. In a representative republic, such as ours, the people elect representatives to run the government for us, but only by doing so by majority vote. Using a simple majority vote to determine who the president would be is similar to deciding who wins the World Series by the total runs scored during the series, as opposed to the team who won the most games. Final restatement of my point of view. I do believe that the Electoral College should remain in place as part of the representative republic, with the United States. The Electoral College ensures that candidates make themselves available to a large number of states, not just a few highly populated ones, so those smaller populated ones, kind of like Missouri or Kansas, the smaller states. The Electoral College also helps ensure that a candidate can appeal to bigger audiences with various priorities and goals that can pertain to those states. Finally, the Electoral College also protects us. As I said, it protects us from simple mob rule, where the simple majority can impose its will on the minority. And that's all. So I basically think that we should keep the electoral colleges. I think they should remain in elections.